Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised. Ready for something outrageous? A student film becomes a safety demonstration. A stuntman's dream goes up in smoke. This skate team can do everything but land. And these folks have a whole new take on in-flight music. If it's off the wall and it's on tape, then it's all here. It's totally outrageous behavior.
Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Durgan and welcome to Totally Outrageous Behavior. If you like to see people screwing up, falling down, falling over, and flipping out, then you and I have a lot in common. Why don't we spend the next half hour having fun at someone else's expense? Let's go. Meet David Donahue, the writer, director, and lead actor of this independent film.
Action. We were shooting a extremely low-budget film entitled The Humanity Experiment, and we had to do a stunt scene where basically I'm having a bad blind date, and I spilled a wine, and I make a fool of myself. What do you do?
Well, I spend most of my time right now.
And once those smaller stunts are done, David decides to push his experiment a little further.
Oh, actually, this tie's got to be down. We decided that for this particular scene, we needed a tie to catch on fire.
Fire. This guy must really know what he's doing.
We went across the street, grabbed some lighter fluid, and soaked the tie a couple times.
Well, at least David will bring in a pro when it's time for the big moment.
Take one.
Or not.
You don't have any money for actual professionals on sets like those. There was basically money for beer, and that was about it.
Guess David's doing his own stunts today.
All right, we ready?
Ready? Go.
And he's getting a real bang for his buck.
When you soak a tie in lighter fluid twice, it's probably going to be a much larger fire than you were expecting. I knew that there was a very hot, burning thing flying towards my face. But got a great shot.
David's stunt ends up being a big hit. And thanks to his quick-thinking crew, they're able to douse the fire without dousing his ambition.
I'll be making films for the rest of my life.
And maybe next time, if David still can't afford to hire a stuntman,
All right, we ready?
at least he'll budget in a clip-on tie. Show-offs need attention, and we need show-offs. It's really a perfect arrangement when you think about it, so think about it while you're watching this. Meet America's worst extreme sports enthusiasts. They're trying out all the cool tricks they've seen on TV and leaving out all the cool parts, like the takeoffs and the landings and the skill. But these guys keep practicing, hoping to someday land a spot in the pros. Or at least just once to land on their feet. My three favorite home videos are the one my dad took of my baby sister in the tub, the time my Uncle Charlie fell asleep in the middle of the family reunion, and this next one. It's this child's 4th New Year's, and you know what that means. Time to introduce him to champagne. But the little tyke isn't the only one who doesn't know how to open a bottle of bubbly. Dad's having trouble too. Finally, the cork takes off. Right into Mom's favorite chandelier. No matter, after a drink or two, they'll forget about the whole thing. After all, it doesn't really seem to bother them. At least Dad knows that when opening champagne, it's important to keep the bottle pointed away from yourself. And now he also knows to point it away from the ceiling. History is written by the winners, so don't expect to read about this guy anytime soon.
Oh, hi.
John has been asked by his employers to make a safety video.
You never want to stack your items too high.
So far, it's a little straightforward, so John decides to spice it up with a little acting. First, he demonstrates the risk of standing on wobbly crates. Then, he shows the importance of always paying attention to where you're going. His next safety tip, the grocery hand truck is not a scooter. And finally, one of the most overlooked employee hazards, dangerously stacked piles of soft paper towels. John quits goofing around long enough to demonstrate one last important reminder.
So just take in mind, safety first, always.
Slippery when wet.
Oh, you blew. Oh.
I hate to break this to you, but your safety phone isn't going to go far.
It looks like John's viewers aren't the only ones who learned a lesson from this video.
This is what happens when you don't pay attention. Got an alley.
If you're doing a grocery store safety video, always wear a helmet.
Oh, you blew.
Whew, after that last video, I could use a break. But I promise we'll be right back with more totally outrageous behavior.
Coming up, a career stuntman's greatest hits and misses. Plus, the story of this zipliner has a surprise ending. And later, this four-wheeler takes to the air and hits the ground when totally outrageous behavior continues.
Welcome back to Totally Outrageous Behavior. Bet you thought we'd never come back. Well, here we are. But enough talking, you've waited long enough. It's time to check out our next video. Tricky Travelstead is what you would call an extreme entrepreneur.
Well, I have a show called Extreme Stunt Shows. We do car crashes, car jumps. I just added in the last few years bus crashes.
Although sometimes it's hard to tell just what he's going for.
I'm not sure why he does things like this. It is obviously dangerous. It's obviously very, very hot.
No, there's never a dull moment when Tricky calls the shots. But whether the stunts are dramatic or destructive, Tricky Travelstead loves what he does.
Put your marshmallows out.
This is my job. I do it day and night. Just like any other career, it has its ups and downs, and it has more ups than downs, so that makes it satisfying.
It looks like there have been a lot of downs for all of Tricky's ups. I've seen some outrageous things in my life, but nothing like this next video. This boy and his friends are making the best of a snow day, with the little help of a car going 30 miles per hour. But he's not the only one enjoying the deserted streets. Then again, maybe he is. This little old lady was just out for a stroll when she got hit by the high-speed sledder. So now, she's hitting him. This snow days rider better be on the lookout in the future, because when he took out this granny, she didn't take it lying down. You know, I used to think that I'd try anything once. Then I saw this next video, and there's no way I'm trying that. This This is Travis's first time on the zip line. So far, he's having a great time. But nobody told him when to let go. For Travis, ziplining offers a whole new perspective on life. In fact, his worldview just got turned upside down. That won't stop him from going again one day. And hopefully, next time he puts it all out on the line, he won't flip out. This next video answers the age-old question. If a tree falls on somebody in the forest and there's nobody there with a camera, is it still funny? Mike Neslin makes his living in the air.
I've been skydiving for about 8.5 years, full-time as an instructor or a jump master for about 7.5.
Here's a little video Mike shot when he was first getting started.
I was trying to build experience to start working with full-time as a free-fall cameraman.
But this experience suddenly included an unscheduled stop. In a ditch full of cow manure.
Kind of lost track of where I was during the landing, was watching everybody else instead of where I was. And ended up landing in a ditch that was just downstream of a number of dairy farms. So there was a lot of fluid in the ditch, there wasn't just very much water in there.
And if you didn't hear that, I'll tell you again!
Mike has a theory about what went wrong that day.
The problem with shooting video is you're thinking about what you're doing instead of flying your parachute. Some of the most embarrassing moments in skydiving were preceded by the thought, this is going to look really cool on tape.
It looks real cool, all right, and it sounds even better.
Me!
But Mike likes to look at the bright side of this accident.
Any landing that you can walk away from, even if you make squishy sounds, is a good landing. And I have not landed in a ditch full of since.
And if you didn't hear that, I'll tell you again!
Oh, don't be so dramatic. I'll be back in a couple of minutes with more totally outrageous behavior.
Up next, this biker's career hits a ceiling, plus a tightrope walker finds himself in a crunch, and later, an inventor reveals his latest breakthrough, the flying car. When totally outrageous behavior returns.
Welcome back to Totally Outrageous Behavior. I'm glad you stayed with us, and when you see this, you'll be glad too. Pete Frederick and his pals have an ATV and a plan.
I was trying to accomplish doing pretty much the biggest jump of my life.
But their plan hits a small snag. Gravity.
A couple different things went wrong. First thing was that you couldn't really see the landing. Second thing that went wrong was a couple days before I did the jump, I took off my rear brakes.
As it turns out, brakes are important for a stable flight on your ATV.
When you're in the air and your back end starts to drop out like mine did, you can compensate that by touching on your rear brakes, and that'll bring your front end back down. And when I was in the air, I tried tapping on my rear brakes and completely forgot. I didn't even have my rear brakes on, so I had to bail.
He bailed, all right. And he's got one last suggestion for the viewers at home.
My advice to other ATV drivers is, don't do this. Will I try the jump again? Not in a million years.
They say practice makes perfect, but what does lack of practice make? Probably this next guy. This gym is where some of the world's greatest tightrope walkers get their starts. And Victor here has decided that he'd like to be one of them. But even though it's his first time, this rope is anything but gentle. It appears Victor forgot the first rule of tightrope walking: never forget your cup. There's no doubt that someday soon, Victor will be up and walking on the tightrope again. Just as soon as he's able to stand up. In this next video, the stage is set for a ceremony, but the stars are aligned for an accident. Check it out. This groom figures carrying his new bride in the wedding procession is more romantic than driving. And as it turns out, it's a whole lot safer too. Someone should have given this trucker an invitation so he didn't have to crash the party. Amazingly, the driver of the car still makes it to the reception. When it comes to public processions, the rules of the road are simple. This honk means congratulations, but this honk means get out of my way. Do you want to appear on Totally Outrageous Behavior? Well, just send us a tape like this next guy did. Nebraska native Carl Hinckley is bored with all the old bike tricks.
I've been, doing this my whole life.
So he's looking for something new to try.
I was practicing and I thought it'd be neat to kind of bounce my front tire off the heating vent.
And since Carl's such an expert, no goal is out of reach.
Smashed into it way too fast.
Looks like Carl's biking skills have hit new heights. But even though the vent took quite a licking,
I dented it in pretty good.
This guy's head just keeps on ticking.
Coming up, a nutty Englishman throws more than just a party. On Totally Outrageous Behavior.
There you are, I missed you. Well, since you're here, I might as well show you one more. It's my favorite video of the week. Take a look. Hugh Kennedy is an interesting sort of chap.
Muck about with this and that. I like mucking about with old things, really.
But Hugh's idea of mucking about is on a rather grand scale. 20 stories tall.
We didn't really make any great effort to follow medieval construction. We just cut trees down and strap them crudely together. I've always been interested in old weapons, really, and anything in that line.
Hugh's trebuchet, an ancient form of catapult, throws the strangest things, but even Hugh has his limits.
It's difficult to get hold of dead horses. People are very sentimental about horses in England.
With no dead horses in sight, Hugh prepares his flinging menu for the day. 2 pianos, which he will set afire, and 1 compact car.
I wanted to try it myself because no one else was trying it.
Even with some last-minute tweaking, the pianos are still not ready for their trip.
I can't play.
Some gasoline should do the trick.
5, 4, 3.
And this flaming piano is on a one-way trip to extinction.
We didn't have a lot of problems with the design, really, because we must have been just lucky. As I say, we didn't use any science today. We just guessed it.
So they play it again, Sam. Overwhelming success of 2 flaming pianos under his belt, Hugh continues on to the grand finale.
Okay.
First, he finds a quick way to make holes for the cables.
5, 4, 3.
Pretty unimpressive.
Even with successes such as these, Hugh is still not satisfied.
I want to get rid of this machine and build a bigger one.
And what would a bigger catapult fling?
We can throw a double-decker bus, which should be quite amusing.
Sounds like big fun, but for now, Hugh will just have to settle for the little pleasures in life.
Quite enough, isn't it?
Where has all the time gone? Seems like just a second ago we were sitting down with a big bowl of popcorn to watch some videos, and now we're all done. I guess you'll have to come back next week for more totally outrageous behavior. Good night, everybody.